We all do love ads, right? Well, in this video, I want to talk about podcast ads. Hi, it's Mike from Casefile and Casefile Presents. On this channel, I'm releasing videos on podcasting, so if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Ads on podcasts are the major revenue stream for people who are making a living in this space. There are some experiments going with content behind the paywall, subscription base, apps, some sort of donation models, but still, it's just like with YouTube. If you wanna watch or listen to content for free, be ready to watch or listen to some ads, or as some people call them, sponsorships. For podcasts, ads are calculated on CPM, which is cost per mille. And that stands for cost per 1,000 listens. So when your podcast gets 1,000 listens with $20 CPM, you get $20. If you get 10,000 listens, then $200. 100,000 listens, $2,000. And if you get 1 million listens, then you get $20,000. Although no one will pay that much for an ad, but on that later. Ads on podcasts can be placed at the beginning of the episode, and they're called pre-rolls. In the middle of the episode, they're called mid-rolls, and at the end of the episode, these ones are called post-rolls. The mid-roll ads, so the ones that are in the middle of the episode, are best paid. And that's because they're the sort of most difficult to skip. So pre-rolls and post-rolls, you can skip them because when you select your podcast, you still got your phone in your hand. But with mid-rolls, you might be driving, you may be walking, you might be at the gym, and it's just a hassle to take your phone out of the pocket and then, unblock it, get into the app, fast forward, and so on. That's why mid-roll ads are best paid. Ads themselves are also split in different categories. So the best paid ones are called host read baked in ads. And these are read by the host, you, and manually inserted onto the MP3 file, onto your podcast. So they are on the audio. They're baked in. Then if you wanna sort of get rid of them, you have to manually cut them out of the audio file and then replace the audio file with ad-free version. And this can be possible after the negotiated time has passed, or maybe a negotiated set of impressions. The second category are dynamically inserted host-read ads. These are read and recorded by the host of the podcast, so you, for example, but they're not baked onto the audio. They are inserted by the system on your episodes automatically, and they could be inserted as pre-rolls or post-rolls or mid-rolls. And then after a set date has passed, or maybe a set number of impressions, the system automatically switches them off. And these are paid less. You get paid less for these than the baked-in ads. And the third category are also dynamically inserted by the system, but sort of radio-style ads. So they are not read by the host, by you, by the podcaster. They are similar to what you hear on the radio. So ads from different companies. And they are the least paid ads. The dynamically inserted ads, both host-baked and these radio-style ads, can be geo-targeted. So for example, you can have a promotion running only in London. So only people who listen to podcasts in London will hear that ad, or maybe people who only live in the UK, Europe, and so on. I do like the idea of dynamically inserted ads, and now the whole market is growing and expanding and developing. And I like the idea because it means that you can still make money on your old content, or maybe you had a limited series that is still popular, you can still make money on that podcast. As opposed to the baked-in ads when you only make money once, even though it is better money, but you're banking of producing more content, new content all the time. So I like the idea of monetizing that back catalog. But so these are the categories of ads. Let's now talk how to get ads on your podcast. The way it works in most cases is you've got a company that pays marketing budget to ad agency that then pays and contacts podcasting network, and they book an ad on a podcast, on your show. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's a lot of people in the middle, meaning the pie is getting smaller each time. And that is, of course, true. Everyone wants to make a bit of money on the way. And ideally, you as a show, as a podcaster, would go directly to the company, right? But if you think about it, it would mean that besides producing and writing, researching your show, you'd have to then do the sales and deal with all the contracts and, signing all these different companies, which is pretty much impossible or very difficult. And in most cases, that's not the way to book ads. Going directly to an ad agency and skipping the sort of podcast network part also won't work, because ad agencies, they don't want to work with individual creators, individual podcasters in most cases. So what's left is you joining a podcasting network or signing a deal with a hosting company. Now, before they start booking ads on your show, of course, you need to have good numbers. So you've got to grow your podcast and make it sound good. It is changing a bit in a way that you can be founded upfront in some circumstances, but that's a topic for another video. Once you got your podcast growing, you're developing your show, and you building the community and your audience, and you start getting good numbers, I guarantee you will be contacted by either your hosting company or podcasting network, people who wanna book ads on your show. The question is, how do you get paid? Now, again, fortunately, the whole space, the industry is changing for the better and becoming more standardized. But in the past, our first check for ads didn't arrive until like 6 months has passed. And during that time, we still had to, be producing the show and working our day jobs. So why did that happen? Well, the ad agency that booked the ad had 30 days to pay for that ad after the campaign ended, and campaign was like 6 weeks. So you had 6 weeks. At the end of the 6 weeks, they had another 30 days to pay, and then when they paid to our hosting company, they had like 90 days for us to pay us for that ad. So it took us, like 6 months until we got that first check, and it wasn't a big check too. However, right now it's changed. So more than likely you will be offered, hopefully, net 30 or net 60, meaning that you will be paid within 30 or 60 days. But before signing anything, read the contract and read terms and conditions of that contract. Let's now talk about the split. As far as the split goes, you get anything from 50-50 to 80-20 in your favor, depending on the deal. Let's take a scenario of a show that is getting good numbers, so you're getting 100,000 downloads per episode. And with $20 CPM, that's 20 times 100. You get 2,000 per ad. So let's say you want to book 1 pre-roll and 2 mid-rolls. So you got 3 ads, that's $6,000. And let's assume you're doing episode per week. So you got 4 episodes times 6, that's $24,000. And let's take an average of 70-30 split. So 70% for you. That sort of works out to $16,800 per month for you. It does sound much easier than it is, but it's not impossible. Now, some advertisers will book longer campaigns in advance. So they may book 3 or 4 or 5 ads at the same time on like 5 episodes into the future. When they do that, they will not pay you the full CPM. They will pay a little bit less. So you're sort of losing a little bit of money for stability and that predictable revenue. Of course, they can still cancel that campaign, but there are restrictions. So they most likely they won't be able to cancel for like tomorrow. Getting sponsorships, getting ads is a goal, an aim for a lot of aspiring podcasters. However, it's not easy. It's not easy to build a community. It's not easy to get listeners. So I don't think that should be your priority. The priority should be making your show, your podcast, as good as possible. And once you get some traction and develop your show, find your style, find people who want to listen to you, I guarantee you that the ads will come and the sponsorships will come as well. But I hope that video explained to you and I explained it to you how ads work, and now you know a little bit better about podcast sponsorships. That's it for today. I'm Mike Migas. If you want to learn more about podcasting, check the rest of my channel. For now, you can subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you later.